It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Aouar's coming. No, calm down. Calm down. Calm. Stay calm. Stay calm. It's not. No, it's happening. I don't know. Maybe it's happening. Maybe it's not. I don't know. It's agreed the deal. It's agreed the deal. It might happen. It might not. I don't know. Calm. Aouar has agreed terms with Arsenal. Got that bit out. Okay, we're good. That's all we know. And we're going to talk about it. Stay calm. Stay calm. Stay calm. Stay calm. Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk. Back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of our Raw Reaction series, where I have a gradual mental breakdown over the course of the Arsenal transfer summer window, is what this show is turning out to be. As you could see from my intro, I've read this, and now writing for 101, I caught the story, and so I wrote an article on it, and afterwards I was sitting there just shaking, because it was a case where it was the first experience where you're sitting there down writing an article about a player, and things change as soon as the news had not yet broke about Aouar, and I was writing an article about Aouar, and I was nearly done, and then blooming Telefoot, or whatever the name is, go and break a story that we've now agreed. He's agreed the deal. Aouar has agreed to join Arsenal, and now it is purely down to the two clubs to meet on a fee. And I'm just a bit. You get your hopes up with these things all the time, and when I've done a show already today about Partey and Aouar, and how I've put myself on a pedestal about Aouar, and wanting Partey to join over Aouar, to then obviously get this news, and all of a sudden you're like, oh god, we could be starting Aouar, and now you're sitting there going, oh, Tom, you've been sitting there for half an hour saying that you want Partey more, but if we get Aouar, we might not get Partey, and I'm just having a bit of a mental breakdown now about this, but but yeah, it's at the end of the day, as Mikey says, it means nothing. It means nothing. It means nothing until he's on the website. Until he's on the website holding an Arsenal shirt, it means absolutely nothing. I mean, we saw that with Gabriel. We waited for weeks. We tracked his flights. We followed him an acquired distance away from his car as he approached London Colney in a COVID-ravaged world. We followed his car. But still, he's still signed in the end. But that's the thing, as lockdown re-grips us, we're not going to be able to follow Aouar's car. What's that about? I'm not going to be we won't have enough camera people, because we'll have more than 6 people in the car to follow Aouar. I didn't mean to rhyme, but it did. Mikey, I'm staying calm. You're doing better than me, because I'm not calm. I'm not calm anymore. I'm not calm at all. Aditya says, is that a clickbait? Or there's more to it? Please tell me there is. Aditya, we have Arsenal have agreed a deal with Aouar, with Aouar, specifically Aouar. I'll prove it. Let's prove it. Let's prove it right now. Let's go on to good old Telefoot, who are the very, very, very reliable, of course, French website. And let's get up on the screen for you guys. Where is it? Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Here it is. There's some more on it. Where is it? Where's the main tweet? Here we go. Here's the tweet. Look at it. Drink it in. I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again. Houssem Aouar agrees to join Arsenal. The Lyon favoured Barcelona and Juventus, but they have received no concrete offers. Upcoming discussions between Lyon and Gunners to refine the proposed move. From Telefoot, la chaîne du foot. In my amazing French accent. But yeah, it's it's news, isn't it? It's news. And that's what we do. October 5th is the special day when we will finally find out whether Arsenal have actually done stuff. But yeah, right, let's calm. So I'm getting too excited now. Let's break this down a little bit more. TGT style. Aouar joining is a good thing. Aouar provides us with creativity centrally. He provides us with a ball carrier in the final third of the pitch. He provides us with some exciting long-term talent for the club. He's 22 years old. He's worth a lot of money. His statistics are crazy good. I say crazy good. They're good. They're very, very good. They're maybe not crazy good, but they're good. I'm trying to convince myself he's amazing now, because we might sign him. And I've seen people tweeting and doing comparisons with Kai Havertz. Don't compare Houssem Aouar with Kai Havertz. One, they're way different. They're so different. Like, Aouar is not playing a position that Havertz plays. Do me a favour. They're just different players. Like, don't do that, please. Please don't do that. It's pointless. It's pointless. So it's the thing about Aouar is that he's a player that has got a lot of potential, like stupid amounts, to the point where he's so good now that he's playing against Man City and doing amazingly well in those games. But I just worry about the consistency, and I bring it up all the time when we talk about Aouar. Is I worry about how good he is consistently. We've had Jeremy Smith on the show, of course. I defer to him and Chris is coming on the show on Tuesday. Chris from Burkout Wonderland. The reunion of me and Chris is coming on Tuesday, and I defer to them about all French stuff all the time. That is just they are the go-to Frenchies that you should talk to about that stuff. And like Jeremy tells me that Aouar is not consistent, that he's not a consistent player, and the key thing, if you watched our show from earlier on, the key quote that I can't get out of my mind is that he, when Lyon play bad, let me just come off this because I don't like you staring at that screen. You'd rather look at me. The thing about Aouar is that when Lyon play bad, he's bad, and he doesn't drag Lyon back up again, and he kind of goes down to Lyon's level, and he kind of needs the pace of the whole team to get the best out of him. And I don't like that. I don't like hearing that about someone that is rated so highly by people. And that's not to say he's a bad player at all, but it just worries you, doesn't it? Like, you're spending a lot of money, and Arsenal don't have lots of money to spend, and to spend this much on him, not Dominic Szoboszlai, is frustrating. It's frustrating because you don't know whether or not, if he comes in, he's going to hit the ground running. You don't know whether he comes in and he's going to be like Pepe, but like it or not, Pepe has not transitioned seamlessly into the Premier League. He hasn't. I'm not got a agenda against Pepe. I don't dislike the guy. Just, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money, and it's a lot of money to get your head around. £72 million is a ridiculous amount of money to spend on one player. We used to sit here as Arsenal fans and go, "Oh, £16 million on Andre Arshavin. That's a new club record." And now we're going £72 million on Nicola Pepe after one amazing season for Lille, and then he comes into the Premier League and. Yeah, 18 goal contributions is good, but it's not £72 million, is it? And I can't quite get my head around that one still. And now he's playing behind Willian, who we got for free. And I'm praying that Pepe comes good. I pray he does. But sometimes when I hear things about players and I hear things about inconsistency and it's such a risk because he's only really played for Lyon and he's coming from Liga, which is a physical league, but technically it's just not at the level of the Premier League. It's a good league. I've been amiss of talking about it sometimes too poorly. I still consider it a very good league for providing talent for other teams, but it's still a good league. But the thing is the Premier League is a different level, and it's whether or not he can transition. He showed against Manchester City in the Champions League that he can play against the biggest sides, but can he do it in an Arsenal team? And that's always going to be a big question. Is you're going to panic about these things. You're going to panic as to whether is he good enough? Is he going to transition well enough? And honestly, I don't know. And no one knows until it happens. You can say that about any player. We didn't know Aubameyang was going to transition. He hit the ground running. Let's go through some more of your comments. Abraham Mbeya says, "Is this the end of your Aouar puns, Tom?" Give me a bell in about an hour and I'll get back to you on that one. So bad. Ice Boy says, "Would be safe to go for Sangara. We could have a Pepe situation again." Beaver Paul says, "Great signing in the long term." Or JH says, "Hi Tom, Pepe needs man management, arm around the shoulder stuff." Michael Headley says, "Pepe just doesn't even look like the same player from Lille. Is like he left all his ability in France." And the thing about Pepe is that Pepe played in a very, very counter-attacking team in Lille. Like, they counter-attacked so well, and he's speed and his pace and his technical ability was enough to beat the players in Liga. But the thing about going to Arsenal is you're coming to a team that plays with such a much more high possession-based style. And then you've got to do the breaking down. You've got to play the key passes. It's all on you. The emphasis is on you to do the business. And he just couldn't quite get it. And I'm a bit annoyed, actually, that he wasn't thrown in immediately. He's one of those players that I would have loved to have seen start in the first game under Emery at the start of the season, but he wasn't. And I think that maybe Pepe coming in under Emery has had a massive detrimental impact on his game. And I'm hoping that Arteta can turn that around, but I have my worries. I really do. Christopher Fung, who became a TGT expert member. I saw your comment, Chris, at the end of the last video, and I just logged off before I saw it. So thank you, Chris, for upgrading and becoming an expert member. If you'd like to join Chris and the rest, I've literally just about 20 minutes ago finished recording a podcast, an extra bit of content for our members with Raf, talking about Aouar, talking about Partey, talking about Liverpool, and talking about Arteta and his future. And we're kind of worried because we're looking at Arteta and we're going, in a couple of years, if we've not really backed him, and what's going to stop a Man City or a Barcelona coming in for Arteta? And that worries me. That really, really worries me. But thank you, Chris, for joining up, and hopefully you'll enjoy that content tomorrow morning, UK time. It'll be out. But Chris says it's more important if the manager has a clear vision for how they'll use the player. Arteta, by all accounts, has a clear vision for all his players and how he wants them to play. And that's a great point. Alan De Souza says, why has Mikel Arteta not looked at Buendia, who is Premier League proven? Norwich would sell him cheaper after relegation. I don't get the hype around Buendia, if I'm honest. I get it, and I get there's a lot of people out there, and myself included, that would like to see more sort of Premier League talent join Arsenal, which we have seen this season with Willian. We've seen it now. William's come in and he hit the ground running, so I'm happy with that. I'm just not sure Buendia is the guy. I'm just not quite sure he's the guy. Daniel Roberts says, who needs Partey? We've got El Nino. See, I look at El Nino as a geographical weather system in the Pacific Ocean. But that's just me. So, only geographers will understand that joke. That was horrific. Glenn Cook says, Pepe never receives the ball when making runs. Same thing happens when Laka arrived. Our midfield was too timid to play those passes, thus forcing them to play a different way than they were accustomed to. Yeah, I mean, he gets the ball to feet and then has to turn and make plays. And I get what you're saying, Glenn. You're spot on about that. The thing about Pepe is that I just want him to succeed, and he's not going to succeed unless he's playing. And Willian kind of stops that. And then Aouar coming in also, because if we go to a 4-3-3 with or a 4-2-3-1 with a number 10-ish style player, it's not going to be Willian. It's going to be Aouar that plays there, and Willian's going to continue playing in the wide area, and Pepe will struggle to get minutes. And Pepe's only going to get better if he plays. And that's worrying. It is worrying. Yannick Max says Tom's hurting inside because this possibly affects his Slide dream. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Oh, Aouar is the guy, says Thibaut Pesque. He is. I hope that we get him. Oh, I really, really do. Momo Nasri says, oh, what a horrible name. What a horrible name. Sam Aouar is the right-footed David Silva. Nasri says. JT says, you talk about worrying about consistency with Aouar. Look how consistent Arteta's made Ceballos and Saka. And that's a fair shout. Saka's a weird example, because there are games like the West Ham one where I just felt that it wasn't that consistent. But I'd completely take your point, JT, 100%. If there's one man that can make Aouar consistent, I've given good money on it being Arteta. And you've also, I mean, a lot of people haven't really talked about the fact that Aouar is French, and speaks the French language, obviously. I don't know how good his English is. I saw him doing a couple of interviews in, obviously, French. But I haven't seen him speaking English. I don't know how good that is. But we have quite a big French-speaking contingent. Arteta speaks French. That communication is going to be there. So, yeah, I think that's a good point to make, that Aouar is a French speaker. And I think that's something that hasn't just gone under the radar a little bit, maybe. Gary Mullen says, Tom, how long do we give Pepe? 1 more year? How long do you give a guy that you've paid 72 million for? How long do you give him? because if you give him another year and say he doesn't do well, what's he worth? 20 million, 30 million max, and we're then still paying. I mean, we might end up in a situation in a year's time where we sell Pepe, and the money that we get for Pepe pays for Pepe for that season because of the segmented payments. How ridiculous is that? That in a year's time we could sell Pepe if he doesn't do well and his price diminishes so much that the money we get for him pays for himself in not even like his whole fee, as in it pays for an installment. Like, how silly is that? That'd be ridiculous. Omar says Pepe has to learn to use his right foot. He's too one-footed. Yes, you have players like Robin who were left-footed, but he was deadly, and Pepe isn't. Sam Klusker 1 says Aouar to be the new midfield maestro. Yes, I mean, I was talking to someone tweeted me called Cheeky CFC when I was replying to one of Cheeky Sport's tweets. I don't know if he's part of Cheeky Sport, about the fact that as a Chelsea fan, he sees Aouar as a more threatening signing than Thomas Partey. And I was trying to explain the things that I've explained on the show over and over and over and over again about how I think Partey's better. But to know that an opposition fan is more threatened maybe by an Aouar joining Arsenal, it makes you feel good to start with. It makes you feel good. And maybe it'll be the case that we come up against Chelsea in the future and Aouar's the star of the show and he does do well. But I see a lot of Chelsea fans turning around and comparing him to Havertz. I don't know why, because that makes absolutely no sense. They're not the same position. They're not the same player. Like, why? Well, it's pointless. It's pointless. It makes you look silly. Grass Patch, another one of our expert members. Thank you for joining in the live chat, mate. Says, imagine we get both. Edu would get a statue. Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine if we got both? Like the thought of getting both. I said on the back of this shirt, which is to hand always. If we sign, I'll put this in the Discord server. If you want to join our Discord server, you just have to become an expert member and you can join. It's fantastic. We get daily discussions going on. Cheekily going on it whilst I'm at work. Don't tell anyone. But like this shirt will get Mainsley on the back, probably get Mains. Oh, maybe Partey. But I will get all three shirts, and I'll get Mainsley, and I'll get Partey, and I'll get Aouar on every single one of them. I'm gonna get three names. No, but I will get all three shirts with the three names on all three. If we sign them. Which would be incredible, obviously. Ammo1 says, Tom, you worry too much. I know. Pepe will get the minutes and Aouar will unlock defenses, creating chances. Ammo1, I wish I had the composure that you do. I wish I did, and the confidence that you do, but I just don't right now. I just don't. Gary Hardy says, still praying for Partey. Aren't we all, mate? Aren't we all, son? Ammo, we've got a lot of ammos in this evening. Says, what about on Monday's game at Anfield? Is it possible for a win? So a big shout. You will have to tune in on Sunday for our preview show. We do preview shows on the channel all the time for the games. They're the day before. That's when they go up, and we get you guys to come in the chat box and talk about your thoughts. Mikey says, we had loads of Aouar types with no power, and we need power again. And I got a lot of people saying that to me. I said, saying that if we sign Partey, he provides us something that we don't have. If we don't sign Partey and we get Aouar, we've still got this issue of not having someone that can break the press and break between the lines. If we do sign Partey, we've got a Ceballos, we've got Willian, we've got Smith Rowe, that we've got a Saga that could all play kind of centrally in that creative role. So that's where I struggle. That's where I struggle with the Aouar Partey thing, is because I just think that Partey brings us more. I'm not going to repeat myself again because I've been repeating myself the last 6 hours. Arsenal Maniac says, where has Arsenal agreed a deal? Where is the official announcement? We've agreed a deal with Aouar, not the whole thing. It's different. Read the titles. We have agreed a deal with Aouar. That is how it works. You agree a deal with the player, you agree a deal with the club, and then when it's all done and wrapped up in a nice bow with a cherry on top, you sign them. That's how it works. That's how it works. That's how it works. Kitchener says, Aouar is an artist. Partey is a soldier. We need soldiers. I like that. I like that a lot. We do need soldiers. Be excited, says Anthony Michaels. Chase Athletic says, truth is, no buy will happen until we sell. I'm not necessarily sure because the Aouar, I know I've said this continuously, and I know I've said that I don't know whether or not Arsenal have got the front to turn around and just buy someone now without necessarily having to sell. Now, someone points out to me, and I think they pointed it out to me in our Discord server, which I'm now not going to be able to find, obviously. 17. Let's have a look for that. Because there was someone told me how many players we have over the homegrown quota, and the homegrown quota, we have to get rid of 2, excluding anyone that we bring in. So currently at Arsenal, we have to get rid of 2 non-homegrown players before we even sign anyone. So if we sign an Aouar or a Partey or both, we could end up needing to get rid of 4 non-homegrown players. And you might hold your hands up and say, yeah, that's easy. Just get rid of Socrates and Torreira and Guendouzi and Mustafi and Kolasinac. The thing is, we've got to actually get rid of them. And that's the problem, is that we can't seem to do that right now. Torreira is looking like the only guy that he could go, that could be sold. The others, the problem with the others is that there isn't really anyone out there that's buying them. Napoli's kind of gone quiet on Socrates. Kolasinac was linked with Schalke and Roma, but that's both gone quiet now. And he's playing because Tierney's injured. I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, it's a good point, Gary, that Ozil might not even get registered. And then that could happen. Like, Ozil might not get registered. They might not register some players. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if it's a thing that you can just not register them. But yeah, it's... I don't know. I'd have to look into it a bit more. Jeffrey O'Hara says, Aouar is potentially worth 80 to 90 million in 4 years, whereas Partey will be in his 30s with little resale value. And I know I sound like a broken record when I say this, but it's about finding a balance. Sign young players, yes. Sign your Salibas, sign your Gabriels. But you need to balance that with signing players that will hit the ground running and will come into the team and smash it. You look at Liverpool. Liverpool have won the league and they've gone out and signed Thiago, arguably the best centre midfielder in the world, who's 29, I think. And he's not got any resale value, but they've done it because they want to maintain the position that they're at, which is the top of the league. And you have to maintain buying players of potential and resale value, which we're doing, but you need to counterbalance that with signing players that go straight into the team and have quality that is going to smash it now. So I understand your point, Jeffrey. I completely get what you're saying. But Arsenal need to do both. You need to find a balance. And I think that we've kind of done that already with Saliba and Gabriel. And we've got a lot of youngsters coming through in Smith Rowe and Saka and maybe Nelson and Willock and Nketiah. But then you've got to look at the other side of it, where you need players to come in now to be able to smash it. That's just my feeling. Apparently, L'Equipe have now reported it. Let's see if we can go on to L'Equipe and have a look. Have they reported it? Oh, they have. They have reported it. You can see this, right? I think you can. Translate. Here we go. Houssem Aouar in agreement with Arsenal. The Lyon midfielder has accepted terms of the London club, which has yet to find common ground with OL. Yes, this is what we talked about. Let me throw it up on the screen for you. There you go. So now L'Equipe, which is like, when you think of French reporters and French media, what's the first one that comes to your mind? L'Equipe. So yeah, it's the next person. I'll be interested to see what Julien Laurent has got to say about this. If he comes out of anything about it, you should check him out. If you don't know who Julien Laurent is, what have you been living under a rock? He's a brilliant French journalist. You should go check him out. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he says anything about it. Get French football, my boys. Oh yes, expert members. I need to tell you something, because on Tuesday earlier on, because we've got 2 shows on Tuesday, expert members, you're going to get editor-in-chief of Get French Football News, who's going to be coming on again for the second time. I'm very, very excited. Mr. Adam White, he's going to be coming back on for expert members to talk to us about Aouar in a lot more detail. So if you want to get that content and get access to our great emojis and our extra content and our Discord server, so much for so little, then make sure you sign up, because we'll be getting the editor-in-chief of Get French Football News, Adam White, coming on Tuesday to talk about Aouar. So yes, make sure you do that. Easy Isle, who is one of our expert members and is an absolute legend who's come on the show and smashed it with his first appearance, says, have to strike with the Partey types now while we have the one of the world's top strikers. The clock is ticking and the team is pointed in the right direction. And you should definitely check out the show that I did with Raf that's going to be coming out tomorrow morning for Plus and Expert and Ambassadors tomorrow morning, because we talk about that in a lot of detail about the time that's ticking on and why we need to do these deals now and why it's important. Iron Cub says, Get French Football News is going to be so happy when this deal goes through so they can actually read their Twitter replies again. Yes, they are. I can't wait to talk to Adam about that on Tuesday. That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun talking to Adam about that on Tuesday. I mean, having to access to that Twitter account must be hell on earth right now. So I look forward to speaking to him about that. Jacob Zabo says, keep Guendouzi for 1 year. Try and fix his attitude, and we have a great midfielder in him. Doubt it will happen, though. Yes. I think the thing with Guendouzi is that his value's not going to improve. He's not going to play. Where does he get in the team? He doesn't. And what are you going to do anything with that? He's not getting in the team. So what can you do with Guendouzi? Sorry, mate. If I'm gonna try. Suan Labiran says, I think that Arteta wants both Aouar and Partey, but if the club is prioritising Aouar, they must have asked Arteta, which he would have chosen if you can have one, and he chose Aouar. I trust Arteta. Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty much it. I was saying this to Raf. I think that Aouar is pretty obsessed with... I think Arteta is pretty obsessed with Aouar. And I think that's pretty much the case of that situation, and that's why he desperately wants him. Justin KS, thank you ever so much for becoming a new member. I hope you enjoy the exclusive content and access to your Mainsley emoji, obviously. Go into the little emojis chat and you can throw some in there. Christopher Fung says, it's okay, Tom. We'll buy the next Jobber and Partey's. His name will be Jobber Partey. Yeah. I will get over a Jobber eventually. I know how I'm going to get over Jobber because forget French Football News and the guys over there. I'm writing a piece for their magazine about Asensio. So I've got my Asensio patch on to deal with the fact that Jobber is not coming. So that's my plan. That's what I'm going to be doing for Get French Football News. I can't wait for them. If you haven't checked out their magazine, which I usually have one to hand, but I don't think I do. I can plug 89. You should go read this book by Amy Lawrence. It's great. We did an interview with her. I think it might be over here. It is. It's over here. I've got it. This magazine is brilliant, and you should go and buy it. And I don't get paid for it, but I wrote in it. What did I write about last time? What did we write about? What did we write about in here? Ferran Torres, who I was loving the fact about Ferran Torres. Look, it's me. Look, I'll prove it to you. Look, it's right there. Look, there's my name. Can you see it? No, you can't. Oh, well. But yeah, Ferran Torres, who went to Man City. I wanted him at Arsenal, but yeah, so that happened. But no, it's I'll be writing a piece about Asensio for them for the next article, so that should be fun. It's Jobber your password. It is, mate, because no one can spell it, Daniel. That's why it's my password. No one can spell it, mate. Christopher Fung says, hit the likes, folks. Hit the likes up. Let's get those likes up in the party this evening. Iron Cub says, I wanted Kovacic before he joined Chelsea. I didn't. I'm not a fan, if I'm honest. I'm really not a fan. Chris P says, Pepe will be fine. 18 goal contributions in his first season, 3 managers, new role model in Willian, and plenty of games in quick succession. Coming this season, he'll get those games. Gary Mullen says, why would you pick Aouar over Partey? Honestly, anyone can see Partey as the better player and more important to what we need. Now, I wouldn't go as as scathing as maybe Gary is there. I agree in principle. I think the Partey is the better option. But if we can get Aouar, who's complaining? Like, I've said that from the start. I said I prefer Partey. But what a lovely situation to be in, where we're stuck between these two world-class talents, world-class player in Partey and world-class talent in Aouar. And what a nice place to be in as Arsenal fans, that we're stuck wanting between these two amazing things. It's like, no, I'm not going to use the example that was in my head. It's inappropriate. Daniel Roberts says, maybe Arteta knows that we will get Partey too. Maybe. If You guys need to come up with something that I need to do if we sign both. I've said that I will get 3 shirts. I've said that I will get Mainsley and Partey and Aouar if they both happen. But we need to come up with something bigger because I'm going full-time next month in the middle of October. I have a lot more time on my hands for the channel. And yeah, we've got to come up with something big. But in COVID times, it's quite tricky. But we'll try and come up with something. Thibaut Pest says, and we'll get Joe. Justin KS says, Tom, will you create another? Will you create an Aouar? Mate, I will create so many Aouar emojis. There'll be so many Aouar emojis coming out of this channel. We are getting both, says Adesina. I wish I was as confident as you. Yoni Max says I should get a TGT tattoo. Oh, no. I've got no tattoos currently. So I can't imagine me getting a Thomas Partey. I should get a Jobaslai tattoo. That's what I'll get. Just like right up my arm, just like Hungarian all up here. That's what I'll do. Iron Cub says, with COVID and us finishing 8th, I expected the worst. So us getting Gabriel, Willian, Partey or Aouar is already exceeding my expectations. Matt Gray says, I worry that Aouar will be treated like Saliba. People will see him as the saviour of our club and single-handedly get us top 4. Rydog reckons that we're getting both. Wayne Hearn says, Tom, are you wearing a cap to cover the loss of hair from all this stress? I mean, that's why I'm wearing a hat. That's why I'm wearing a hat right now, because it's horrific what's going on underneath here. Matthew Hudson says the whole team can be a can opener if we play direct and quicker. What an analogy that is. That's the state we've got to now, is we're using kitchen utensils as metaphors to describe our football players. That's what we're doing. Chris P, thank you for the donation, mate. He says, have a feeling that we'll get Partey instead. This Aouar news was circulating a week or so ago, wasn't it? Yeah, but you know, who knows? Who knows? Inzo says 4 players heading out should be Torreira, Mustafi, Socrates, and 1 more. Daniel Roberts says dye your hair red if we sign Aouar and Partey. Dye my no. Can you imagine the reaction of my missus if I dyed my hair red? Can you imagine? Can you imagine for a second how much trouble I get in? No chance. No chance. Matt Gray says, if we get both Partey and Aouar, is there an argument for this being our greatest ever transfer window? No, Matt. There's no argument, because it would be. It would be the greatest ever transfer window. Easy. Arsenal signing Gabriel, Willian, Jobaslai. No. Aouar, Partey, Alex Runner-Runnerson. Are you kidding? It would be the greatest window of our history. Questioning that, Jesus. Elliot Roberts, transfer map. 1, sign Aouar. 2, sell players. 3, return at. So I can't quite read that. I think that says a word. I'm gonna pretend it says Atleti with Torreira. 4, Partey deal. 4. You've said 4 twice. Have you turned it to Phil Neville? If no sell, tell Torreira to Italy and return for the last Partey. And 5, which should be 6. If no, sign Partey. Light. Diawara, maybe. Daniel Roberts says, let's not forget about George. Yes! And George Lewis. And we signed Salah. I mean, how did that go under the radar? We signed Salah. I mean, what more can you want from an Arsenal window? And we signed Jonathan Dinzai. And we signed Tim Akinola. We've signed loads of players. I know what everyone's on about. We've signed loads, mate. We've sent loads on loan. John Jules is smashing it for Doncaster. Zach Medley and Trey Coyle. As soon as we're allowed back in grounds, I can go and watch them at Gilles. And then who else we sent? Matt Smith has gone to Swindon. McGuinness has gone to Ipswich the other day. We sent someone to MVV in Holland, and the name escapes me. Someone in the chat box will tell me. We've done loads, mate. We've done loads. Matt says, I think Tom just told me off. I feel like one of his students. No. Isaiah says, Runner Alex Runnerson inspired players such as Pele. What a signing for 1 million. John Nutt says Ozil was in the last year of his contract. Sanyeli, I think that was an attempt at spelling his name, said, we will sell any player who doesn't renew. My life is a lie. Zach Swanson, thank you, Chris. That's the guy that went off to MVV. Daniel Roberts says, maybe we haven't triggered Partey's release clause because Socrates is still at the club, who is our number 5. Likewise with Aouar and Torreira with number 11. Maybe. I don't know if that actually matters too much. Alan Casas says, I'm stocked, whatever that means, to get Aouar. Let's now have Partey. Is stocked a slang term? I've never heard this term. Stocked. Stacked? I don't know what that means. Is it? Where are you from, Alan? Tell me. Ammo1 says Partey is not worth 45 million. That's why we won't. Are you kidding? No, you're right. He's not worth 45 million. He's worth about 90, mate. Not worth 45. Not worth. Not stoked. Yes, that's what he means, right, dog. Thank you. He means stoked, doesn't he? He means stoked. Stocked. What are you on about? Afnan says, can we just appreciate that Arsenal signed Gabriel for under 30 mil while Leicester are bidding 30 million for Tarkowski? I mean, they bid 40 million for Dunk, didn't they? Insane stuff. Yes, got stoked. Okay, I get it, stoked. I can understand. I get it. But Rodney says he's also stocked. So there you go. Christopher Funk says Spanish laws around how release clauses need to be paid and processed means that it would need to be triggered at least a day before the October 5th, if not more. If it happens, it will. I don't think you need to worry about the timing of it. And another thing that I kind of go into with Raf on the exclusive show, which if you remember, nice segue, Mr. Big Leg. Thank you for becoming a member, fella. And if you are a member like Big Leg, you'll be able... If you remember like Big Leg, if you are a member like Big Leg, then you. I can't not laugh at that name. That's a brilliant name, and congratulations for coming up with that. Why is someone feeling the need to spam my chat? If you have signed up, you'll get the exclusive content with Raf very, very soon. Let me just go onto my YouTube app and get rid of this. You've done it once, and you've done it before, and I'm not okay with it. So I'm going to remove you from the chat. I've been very professional this show. Look at that! Julian Laurent just tweeted. After how funny was that? He's been listening. Where is he? Julian Laurent has tweeted. Here we go. Julian Laurent. Yes. Confirmation of Arsenal's first offer for Houssem Aouar, 35 million euros. It won't be enough, but they will come back. Aouar wants to come to Arsenal. There you go. Look, what did I say? What did I say to you? I said, Julian Laurent, wait till he's tweeted. He's the guy. And there you go. He's tweeted. So yeah, we can all be happy about that now. No worries, Tom. Absolute pleasure, Big Leg. Good to have you on board, mate. I hope you enjoy the extra content and the ability to use your fantastic emoji. We need a big leg emoji, says Matt Gray. Also, you get access to the Discord, so make sure you jump into the community tab. Rydog says your cheeks are rosy, your voice is louder, rambling a bit, high pitched, you're half cut. I'm not, to be fair. I'm definitely not. George, that didn't sound convincing at all, but I guarantee you I haven't. It's a Friday. It's a Friday, yeah. I could have been, but no, I'm not, because I've got to go drive and pick up the other half, so I've not been at all. Callum Ferguson says, what would be your alternative to Partey if we can't get him? No one is the answer. My alternative is that Arsenal stop making the same mistakes that they always make, because if they don't get plan A's, they go off and they go get plan B, and plan B is never as good as plan A, and they end up wasting money. So my plan B, if we don't get Partey, is to wait a season or wait 6 months and go and activate the release clause or whatever clause it'll be when it's around then, because it doesn't make any sense to just like splash money away at a player that's not as good as the player that we need. It's pointless. Trust the process, says Christopher Fung. Crypto Batman says, can we get Coutinho and Zaha on loan? Well, Coutinho's staying at Barcelona, and Zaha is a very, very complicated deal that I doubt will happen. Freddie McNay says, activate it in January. Possibly. That's probably the best way to do plan B. Gary Mullen says, if we don't get Partey now, do you think he signs a new contract at Atletico Madrid? Maybe. There's a good chance that, Gary. A very, very good chance of that happening. Are we interested in Zaha? Yes, we are interested. Are we going to get him? Probably not. So, sorry about that. That was kind of an oxymoronic statement, wasn't it? Ammo1 says, if Partey is worth 90 million, then why aren't the likes of City buying him for 45 million? Because everyone else's midfields are set, mate. That's why I've said this on previous shows. Midfields around Europe are set. Arsenal have one of the weakest midfields in comparison to their rivals that you can see. That's why. That's why no one else is going for him. No one else is in for him, because midfields are set. They're sorted. You go through the top clubs in the countries. Who else is Partey going to go to? He's not, because they've got their midfield sorted. It's as simple as that. The only one I can think of is Juventus. That's the only club that I could look at and go, yeah, maybe they could have come in for him. But other than that, I just don't see it. Just don't see it at all. If he's world class, rivals would buy him. Nope, because they've already got world class players there. Simple as that. Fizzy G says, "What are the chances of us signing both Partey and Aouar?" About how much? About that much, I'd say. About that much. I reckon about that much. I have no idea. No idea what the chances are, to be honest. Igbo says, Tom, who, of course, Igbo was interviewed by Owen, not by Owen, sorry, by John on our website. You should go check out his article. Priority for me has always been creativity. We can get that with Aouar, and we can't get that with Partey. I think that we can, and I'll say that in the video that we talked about earlier on, and I've uploaded earlier on. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. Right, I've got to go do a lift, believe it or not. So I'm going to wrap things up there. Thank you ever so much for tuning in, people. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, as it always is on the show. Thank you to all of the members, as always, for signing up. You know what I like about doing the show recently is that, one, I've been able to do it in a free house rather than my own home. Isn't it nice? If you people that were in the long term listen to the show, about a year ago when I was not actually in my own place, I couldn't be like this. I couldn't be my flamboyant's the wrong word, energetic, let's use that one, my energetic self. But it's nice being able to come on and chat to you guys and be a little bit more happy about life. So yeah, things are changing, things are happening. I think it's amazing what a new job does to you, isn't it? It's crazy. Thank you, expert members, for being amazing as always. Thank you to my ambassadors. I need to update these, so if you have signed up in the last, say, 24, 48 hours, I've not added you onto the spreadsheet yet. I'm going to, don't worry. But if you would like to get access to these great things, members, throw them into the chat box, throw them in there, get using your emojis throughout the shows. I know that obviously during and after matches they'll come into more appreciation, but yes, please make sure you sign up. You're going to get extra content tomorrow morning, plus an expert and ambassador members. You're going to be getting my interview with Raf, and then Tuesday you're going to be getting an interview with the chief editor at the chief features writer, I should say, at Get French Football News, Adam White. He'll be telling us all the insides about Aouar. So if you want that content, you need to sign up. And there's more. Can you believe it? There's more. You can get onto the Discord server as well and join the fantastic chat and discussion that's going on there. Thank you to the members that have joined up tonight. Thank you ever so much for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure, as it always is. And how we like to finish the show, members, can you throw those up the Arsenals into the chat box, please? And as always, up the Arsenal.